Welcome to the first edition of Rocklab Talks, informative and inspirational panel discussions for local artists, musicians and music fans organized by Rocklab. I'm your host, Yves Stephany, and today we'll dig deeper into songwriting secrets with my guests Jana Bahrich, and aka Francis of Delirium, and Jérôme Reuter, aka Rome. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the panel.
Hello.
Jana, you've released your first EP this year. The second one is about to be out in February. You're a millennial, but your music is very much inspired by 90s alternative rock and grunge music. How come?
It was sort of, well, we used to listen to a lot of Nirvana and stuff in the car, but when I was 12, grunge was like the music I found on my own. I think I found like Pearl Jam and the Jeremy music video on my own and thought, wow, this is really cool. And it felt like, yeah, this is the first music genre that I've come to like based off my own decision and not off someone else like showing me the music. So, yeah.
Jérôme, you are one of the few household names in the Luxembourgish music scene. There are 21 records listed on your Wikipedia page. Is that correct?
I have no idea.
You've lost count yourself.
Yeah, well, it depends on how you're counting.
How many albums have you released?
15?
15.
I don't. Yeah.
But there are also some singles and some best of
live sessions, studio sessions, sort of stuff. Yeah. But I think it's 15 albums, like proper albums. Yeah.
And the latest came out this year in August?
In August, yes. The Lone Furrow.
And your music could be described as dark folk music, I guess? Is that something you can live with?
Yeah, yeah.
So we are gathered here today to talk about songwriting and about your approach to songwriting. But before we talk about the how, I'd like to get to know more about the why. So why do you write songs, Jana? Is it a necessity? Is it a cure?
There's just like, I wake up and I just want to do it. It's like every morning I wake up and I'm like, I just need to create something today. And yeah, it's just like a desire to get something outside and like almost visualize it externally outside of your body.
So you have to. You
I guess
cannot not write songs.
I think so, yeah.
How about you?
The same. Yeah, there's not much choice involved. You know, it's just what you do. And I guess you start out early thinking about ideas, and you know, just the music just kind of grows in you. You just, I mean, it's a curiosity you want to satisfy. Really, it's not. There's no choice involved, really.
Yeah, it feels like brushing your teeth almost.
So do you do it like regularly, like every day?
Brushing my teeth. Yeah, I mean, it's always ongoing work. It never stops. I mean, in my case, I'm always working on something. I always keep my eyes and ears open for elements that could possibly make it onto a record, whether that's in a movie or any sort of music you might listen to or conversations or whatever. You know, you just kind of have this, you know, notepad in your head, keeping track of stuff all the time.
Who do you think of when you are writing songs? Do you think about the listener or do you think about yourself rather?
Well, no, you don't think about the listener as such. I mean, you will think of the listener at some point, but not when you start out. It's all about the song. It's all about the atmosphere or feeling you want to, you know, catch in a way. And then later on, yes, of course, you think about, you know, how you're going to arrange this and, you know, where will it find its place on the record? And, you know, of course you think about how will that record be perceived in a way. So yes, you work with that, but initially it's really just about the songs.
How about you?
Yeah, I only think about the listener once it's mixed and mastered, and then I have to sit with my decisions now for like a couple of months, and then you're like, oh, was I? And then you can overthink everything. But I think a lot of my like initial writing comes from this subconscious place, and so I don't know how much I'm really even thinking it's more just trying to let something get out.
I listened to that panel, that Music LX, Amplify LX panel you participated in recently, and you said that during the lockdown you had kind of a writer's block.
Yeah.
Is that something that made you afraid?
Yeah. Well, it's also just like you feel unsatisfied. You know, you don't have like a song that you've finished and then get that kind of catharsis and that release. So it was like waiting for months, not experiencing that release that I feel I'm kind of accustomed to now. So it was strange and kind of scary. And I thought, oh my God, I'm never going to write another song again. And then, yeah, then I wrote another song.
Is that something that has happened to you as well?
I don't believe in writer's block. I think that's a myth. I mean, yeah, you go through phases where you don't write a new song.
But you don't think too much about it?
No, because it's always been that way for me, that you go through a phase where you write a lot within like a week. Sometimes I come up with lots of different ideas that end up on a record, maybe or maybe not, but just, you know, you're just fueled by something. And usually before that, there's months and months of, you know, not getting anything done. But during that time, you kind of prepare the terrain. So like I said, you know, you're always thinking of what you're going to do next, and you're always trying to find this new voice or whatever theme or subject matter you want to deal with on a next album or whatever. And well, that's how I work anyway. I mean, there's months and months that pass without me writing a single song, but you're kind of just assembling stuff, you know. And at some point, you know, the puzzle kind of starts falling into place. So I'm not worried when I don't write for a while.
Like the main ideas from a song will happen really quickly in like 2 seconds, and then I know I have like a feeling like if you're opening a safe and then it clicks, you just kind of know, okay, this I feel connected to, and then I will think about maybe like what that lyric means or like the shape of the melody, and then sort of build the rest of the song around that. That's generally how it works, is there'll be some subconscious idea that comes out in a jamming process, like just messing around, and then I will try to refine that idea.
Mm-hmm. What comes first, the melody or the lyrics?
Both.
Both at the same time?
Yeah, at the same time with that main idea. And then everything surrounding that will change.
How about you? How do you start?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, so, you know, I play around on the guitar maybe, or reading a book, and then there might be a line that kind of speaks to you, and you know, I think I'm going to steal that line, and you know, and maybe there's a chord change that really works for you with that line, and then you know there's something there, and from that moment on, it's basically work, you know, to just carve it out. But that initial spark needs to be there, and it can come from anywhere, anytime. But so it's kind of like taming the muse, that you kind of prepare the terrain, as I said. So that you're ready, you know, when she drops by.
Do you have a working routine? You said that it's important. It's like work. So is it something that you have to do regularly?
Well, I try to read a lot. That's that always works best for me, to just keep the mind working on something. That's how ideas come about, I think. So I don't sit around doing nothing, waiting for the muse. You know, you deal with stuff, you know, and then gradually things start happening. And I do that all the time, basically. But like I said, you know, there's months that pass without anything making sense. But after a while, things fall into place.
Does the songwriting process, has it changed over the time of your career? You started
Not
in
really.
2005, I think, no?
Well, I've always written songs.
Yeah, but this project...
I mean, I started writing songs when I was a young teenager. And of course, first of all, you don't really master the language maybe, and you don't have that much experience with writing in general, and musically you're still somewhere else, you know, you still need to, you know, find your way around the instrument and whatnot. But basically, I think it's the same. Yeah, I mean, you develop kind of patterns, of work. But I think in general, it's been the same.
How about you? Do you have a routine, a working routine?
Yeah, normally I'll start the morning and me and Chris will jam, and like him on the drums and me on guitar. And that's like searching to see if we find anything in the morning. And then I have lunch and we'll come home and do production on like songs where the structure is there, and then just trying to build out that idea, and then like spend time here and there playing on like the acoustic guitar and seeing if just for fun kind of, and doing like, I don't know. I like to work in a lot of different genres all the time, even though I'm not releasing like pop music, but it's, or like ambient music or stuff like that. But I feel like keeping those possibilities open makes writing like for this project feel much more free, if that makes sense.
Thinking outside the box, outside of your own universe?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think that, yes.
Is that something you do as well? Experiment with other things than the elements that can usually be found in your music?
Well, I try to work with different people in the studio now and then, because I mean, I do the writing myself. I come up with the major themes and whatnot. I have a very clear vision of what I want to do before I go into the studio. But while I'm working, I'm just one guy, and I just have a little bag of ideas, and a little bag of techniques. And it's really important for other people to come in and say, well, actually that chord, I would play it differently, and, just pick other people's brains. So, because I do release a lot, and I don't want all these records to sound the same. I want to reinvent myself constantly without changing too much. But so, yeah, I need input from other people.
Do you go into the studio with all the songs ready, like structurally and lyrics wise and stuff?
I usually start once I have 5 songs. Like I know, okay, I will need like 12 songs or whatever on the record. And as soon as I have like 3 or 4 songs that are really working for me and make sense also next to each other, and that's like the spine of the record, then I usually start booking studio and start working. And then the rest of the record will kind of reveal itself along the way. Once you hear, because I don't do demos, for me it's a waste of time, because what if that demo is good? You always try to recreate that magic that happened, and it will never work again the same way. So I just record straight away. I work, pen and paper, and then I go into the studio with a very clear vision of what I want to do. But once you hear the songs in the studio in their basic form, then more ideas start flowing. So
you only write on pen and paper? You don't have like a voice note or anything of your song?
Sometimes I do record. If I don't have a lot of time to work on it right then, I record it on the phone, just to keep track of it. But usually the song, when it happens, I just stay put and work on it until I will not forget it, basically. Yeah.
How about you? Do you record stuff? I think you are also into producing music, aren't you?
Yeah. Like, do I record stuff onto my phone, or do I? Oh yeah, I do demos.
You do
we
demos.
We do demos. Yeah. I feel like, to me, it's not a problem, because I think the song is allowed to keep changing all the time. And so maybe you find like a new spark, and I'm okay. I would be okay with a demo having a spark and then the recording having a different spark than the demo.
Do you also work with other people? I mean, you work a lot with Chris, I imagine, but do you also get input from other people? Is that something that's important for you?
Not really. I'll show my parents stuff sometimes. But with all the songs that we've released, we've been able to play them live, even though we haven't been able to play them live that much. But like getting an audience reaction to the song feels important, So that's why writing songs right now I think feels so weird to me, because we're not able to go and test them and actually play them in a live setting. And that's where I feel like you can really start to live in the song better. So feedback is important, playing it live, but I normally don't. It's normally just me and Chris really with the recording process.
Do you have any tips and tricks, maybe inspirational tips and tricks for other songwriters, for people who are just starting out? I know that, for instance, some people, they create mood boards before they start working on a project. Is there anything that you do regularly in order to get into a mood or to set the framework?
Well, whatever works for you, really. You know, I don't do mood boards, but I have like lots of notebooks where I write stuff down and keep track of ideas. I mean, a lot of the time I would work within a specific theme. So, because I want the record to be about something, and then, you know, I try to read up on anything related to that. So I keep a lot of notes. And then that's very important for me, to find the voice I want for a specific record, because it's, you know, it's a bit like acting, you know, you try to find the character, you know. Also, you don't want every record to sound the same, you know. So that helps me, just, you know, writing a lot of stuff down that probably won't make it onto the record, but just, you know, just keep the ball rolling. I think that's probably the most important thing, that you just keep working on stuff, you know, and that will, you know, just, you know, stay in the mix, you know. Keep working on stuff, and even if it's all for the bin, it's good that you deal with stuff regularly, you know, because it will make it possible for you to work quicker once, you know, that muse comes by or whatever. And in the studio, a lot of the time you have to make quick decisions, and so all that is important for your experience of, you know, just keep working
and being okay with throwing stuff in the bin.
Oh yeah.
Or just keeping it at draft status and then not going further because you think it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I write a lot of songs that I think are the greatest things since sliced bread, and then the next day it just sounds so generic, or maybe it's okay, but I've done it 10 times already, you know, and then it's, you know, that happens a lot. Actually, it happens a lot more now because I have released a lot of stuff, so I'm more careful about songs that might actually be cool, but they're not good enough now, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you? Do you have any tips and tricks for people who want to write songs?
I think just write as much as you can, like the standard one. And then I like to watch a lot of movies and read too. I feel like those are great places to get like a visual feeling for what you like.
Yes, I think the visual thing is important.
Yeah.
I mean, movies are very influential in that, you know, you can plunge into this whole other world, you know, and that's what a good record should be like too, you know. You're not making movies, but you're also kind of making a journey for the listener. So storytelling is important. So that can come from books or movies or whatever. I think that's, I mean, we both kind of work in the singer-songwriter, whatever genre, so we kind of tell stories, you know, probably very, very different in kind, but it's always a story. And I think you should, for a songwriter, you know, really focus on how to tell a good story. I think that's important.
Is it also important what you sing about? The message, is that something that's important to you, or could it be anything?
I like a body of work to feel cohesive to me, at least. Mm-hmm. And so in that sense it's important, but I would not limit myself to what I could write about just in general, as long as it feels cohesive in whatever I'm releasing it in.
Yeah, I mean, to me, content is everything. You know,
content is king.
Yeah, no, seriously, because I mean, I only play the same 3 chords. I've been doing that for 15 years, so you know, with the words at least, there should be some sort of change. You know.
So what do you sing about? What like for instance the latest record? What is it about?
Oh, that's too long a story.
In a nutshell.
Well, there's no nutshells really. I mean, I'm really interested in philosophy and history and all that sort of stuff, and I like to combine different ideas on a record and different points of view. Let's just say that. And it's an exploration of ideas and of feelings, really. You know, a lot of the stuff maybe starts out as a sort of a love song, but it's about historical events or whatever. You know, I like, you know, juxtaposing things like that.
I think historical events are quite present in your music, aren't they?
Yeah, it depends. I have some records that are actually like more like concept albums even, which I hate. The idea of a concept, it really revolts me in a way, but it helps me to write, you know, because you kind of, for me it's like, you know, you're after a story in a way. You come across something and you're really curious about it, and you want to satisfy that curiosity by really plunging into that world and, you know, feeding on everything that's slightly remotely, you know, important to that world, and then you kind of, you know, puke it all out in your own kind of way.
What is your EP about? The first one and also the second one. Is there any link between the two records?
Yeah, I said the first EP is like a breakthrough and the second EP is a breakdown. So this one's more like about isolation. And the first one, it's also hard because, you know it just came out like a few months ago, but after a while, it just kind of, once it's gone from you, you know, it's kind of gone, and it's hard to, at least with this EP, I'm sitting with it and I'm still thinking about it all the time, but that first EP, in my mind, it's been out for 10 years, and so there's a story, but it's like escaping my mind right now.
It's also better not to reveal it.
Yeah, that's also true.
Have you written for other people? Have you written songs for other performers, or could you imagine doing it?
I tried a few times. I've written some stuff for film, so no words involved, so just music, and that was okay. You know, if the film speaks to you, that works well. But if the film doesn't speak to you, it's hell. I'm not really good at it. And writing for other people, I mean, I still haven't given up on making a living, continuing to make a living with my own stuff. So I'm not, because that's usually, you know, where the career goes. You know, you start out with your own stuff, and at some point you write for other people as well, which so far I have not done that much. No.
How about you?
I would love to write for other people. It's something I'm actively looking into. I would love to. I like collaboration, especially in not the genre that this project is in. I would love to write for other people. I think that would be very fun. And then you can really remove the entire, because releasing music yourself is so exhausting. So I would love to just get to write the song and say goodbye and thank you very much. Have a good evening. That would be, I also actually do love this whole process too, but it would be so fun to just get to write all the time without this expectation of now you have to do this back end part of it as well. So yes.
Is there anybody in particular that you would like to write for?
Anyone. If anyone watching this wants me to write with them. And I mean, I would love to write for Dua Lipa.
For Dua Lipa?
Yeah, I love Dua Lipa's newest album. I thought that it was really like such an enjoyable pop album. Yeah, I would love to write for other people.
Okay, well, thank you, Jérôme. Thank you, Jana, for this really interesting panel. And
thank you.
now
Thank you.
The both of you are going to perform a song. Just tell us what song. It's the new single, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Lakes.
I'm gonna play a song called "The Twain" from the last album.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm a lake, but you'll own me. All these rivers make up bodies. I'm a lake, but you'll own me. All these rivers make up bodies. I'm a lake, but you'll own me. All these rivers make up bodies. I'm a lake, but you'll own me. All these rivers make up bodies. Now we're stuck in this motion, sifting through the floating garbage, and we're lost. You can feel it, only see a tenth of what's found. Stuck waiting on another this love, we all share it. Deep blue and slowly swirling in my blood, in your body, held forever inside the ground. Oh, it's immortalized in sound.
You sent them off to cities afar to bleed out in the sun. The blind wave will break and fire right where the outpost would stand. You sent forth the best you had to serve your new guests' needs. But west is west and east is east. Never the twain shall meet, no. Not in my name, oh no, not in my name. Don't take me for a fool. Not in my name, oh no, not in my name. For I am unto you. And with your virtue so out of touch, boy, there's not much left to hold. Any second thoughts now hungry much, they starved you out of a home. With what is left of what is right, and long lean thorns between, we'll unleash a war so utterly vain, no man has ever seen yet. Not in my name, oh no, not in my name. Don't take me for a fool. Not in my name, in my name, for I am unto you. Not in my name, oh no, not in my name. Don't take me for a fool. Not in my name, oh no, not in my name, for I am unto you. You claim all blades are sheathed now, but you put half a world to fly it. With what you want this nation to be, we deem the price too high. And these paths you dare not tread, and this you don't want to know. Well, we mark them with our dead so many years ago. And who fought and died, and who never needed you. They 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 never needed you. All we say is break these chains. All we say is break these chains. They never needed you. 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 They never needed you.